We have the question: are large character rosters like Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, are they really, raising gamers' expectations to where other games have to like make their rosters pretty large throughout its history? And we have things going on now to where people are kind of. It seems like even with Guilty Gear Strive coming out, was that like 16 characters at launch? And it seems like people are saying like that's scarce. So, even at launch, 16 characters is scarce. So, do you feel like we're getting to a point to where you have to have absurd rosters? That's what people are expecting. That is what people wanting. Starting with you, Mr. Game and Live. How do you feel about this?
I don't know. I don't know if I would say we're getting to a point where, because okay, so let me say this: Smash Brothers got like 70 some characters.
So many.
So if you just expecting a game to come out and have that many characters, like this ain't Marvel 2, and and even that game, it was a lot of copy characters and a lot of characters that
Tenkaichi
nobody
with
even
it.
expected. Yeah, Tenkaichi.
Tenkaichi had like a million.
Yeah, but I guess that's more. I consider Tenkaichi an arena fighter. I consider
Yeah.
Budokai like a fighter. Yeah, I think he had a pretty large roster, but I don't. Yeah, I just think that you can expect. I say like expecting 16 to like a 20 something roster. That's feasible. Because I mean, you're gonna get DLC. I think the biggest issue is when people like, let's say you start off with 16 characters, and by the end of the game's life, you got like, I don't know, it could get maybe goes to maybe possibly 30, mid 30s to 40. I think that's like, people like, well, why couldn't you just put some of them characters in like earlier? You made me pay for like over like 20 something characters. So I feel like that might be something people think about. But I mean, to me, it shouldn't be. I don't think we're in the age where people like, man, this game, if you don't have 70 characters, man, I ain't playing this game, man. I gotta have 70 characters from launch, man. you know. And again, with Smash Brothers, it's echo characters. So it's not like
Mhm.
technically every character is a different character. There's basically, you got a character, then there's an echo. I mean, first of all, we got like 30,000 Fire Emblem characters in Smash Brothers. So you
Yeah.
already might as well make a Fire Emblem fighting game. But yeah, I don't think you can just expect like these 30 plus rosters right off the bat. Now you might get it. And also there's a thing like, developing characters, I'm pretty sure that takes some time. And if you want characters to be like pretty unique, aside, like we just talked about Dragon Ball, how characters were kind of samey at first. If you want like really unique characters, then I guess like keeping it at a smaller number at first kind of gives you the ability to focus in on those characters' play styles. Because if you put like 30, 40 characters in at the beginning, it's like, man, how different are these characters going to play? Are they really that different? So I mean, you look at something like Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5 now. Those characters are fairly different. You got some kind of copy and paste a little bit with the Shoto, archetype, things of that nature. But yeah, I don't think there might be some people that think that, oh man, I need to have 30 plus characters off rip, or else I'm not buying this game. But when you look at it at a deeper level, it's like you really want unique characters that have different play styles and everybody's well fleshed out. And
Mhm.
depending on how long it took the game to develop, you know, he's probably gonna be around like 15 or 16 from the jump. I would say 20 is a good number. You give me 20 characters at the jump, I'm fine with that. But again, like we mentioned earlier, interesting play styles. Skullgirls was a game had a really small roster at first, but the characters were really interesting. So it's almost like you really didn't care because it's like, okay, these characters are so unique, they're so different. I'm kind of already, my time is taken up by just learning these characters because they're so different from each other. And they added a few characters, and it's still like everybody is so different, unique that it's like it's only got what about maybe 15 characters total, even after like a new edition and a few updates. But it's like they're so different that it's like I don't care because they're so unique that nobody's really the same. So I don't think we're getting to that point, but you know, I just hope people not expecting to get like 50 plus characters. Cause like I said, this ain't Marvel 2 no more. That was a game I think, oh man, you see all these characters. I got to unlock all these characters, man. And again, like I said, half of them were copy characters. So,
In terms of like big character rosters, I think like one of the things that when I think about like the roster of Super Smash Brothers is that and I mean, correct me if, and feel free to disagree with me, guys, on this case. But when they have characters, they're putting the characters in the game. It's not like we're necessarily having to make new characters. These are characters with established lore. You're basically taking a character and trying to come up with a move list for each character. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's like, okay, we need a character from like, Metro, like you want Samus from Metroid, but it's not like Samus from Metroid didn't exist before Super Smash Brothers came out. It's like Samus has existed for years. We're just finding a way to like translate that character's moves into the game. So it's like all these I mean, I don't think it's fair to necessarily hold other fighting games to the same standard of Super Smash Brothers, because a lot of games don't even have that many characters in their established lore to even put in the game in the first place. Like Tekken has at this point has a pretty good roster of characters, but I mean all those characters, like a lot of those characters are established within the Tekken universe. Like there's characters that have been created specifically for Tekken, except for Akuma and Geese Howard. But anyway, like all those other Tekken characters, those guys are established characters that come out of the Tekken universe. But like, Smash Brothers I'm not gonna say they have it easy, but easier, because it's like, okay, here's a character, you want to put this character into the game. Okay, what does this character do in that game? All right, we need to translate those moves into this game. All right, cool. And then before you know it, you have like all these, like you have like a huge roster of characters all the time. Like you have like Ken and Ryu, Ken and Ryu who have established fighting game like movelets in Street Fighter. Terry Bogard, who's established fighting game character from Art of Fighting, King of Fighters. Like we were saying before, all of the Fire Emblem characters, I mean, pretty much. Like they have like their own moves that are already like established in other games. I think but back to the original point, it's that I don't feel like having a 16 characters as a roster is too small. I think that's actually pretty decent for the beginning, like especially for the launch of a game. It's pretty good. I think there's enough variety. I think like especially in Guilty Gear Strive, like the variety between the characters. You got Saul, of course, like the usual suspects like Saul, Kai Kisuke. There's Mei, Milia Rage. Zato 1. I call him Eddie because like when I started playing the game, Guilty Gear X2. Zato was already dead, so he was just called Eddie when we were playing. Zato had been dead for a while, so it was like we were just like, oh, it's Eddie, but no, it's Zato 1 anyway. But then you have like these new characters coming in, and like they're like what's called Giovanna, who looks really cool. Like that looks a really cool looking character. Like these new characters coming out, and even the older characters are going to come out with new moves. They're going to keep people busy for a while. Like the amount of combo videos that are going to come out for these characters are going to have people people's head spinning for a while until the next character comes out. And did they even announce the last character for Guilty Gear yet? Did they? I don't think so, right? So I don't even.
They haven't announced.
So like, I mean, we don't even know who the last character is. So I mean, we know we got Anji Mito, and we got one more mystery character. So we're still in limbo as far as like what character is going to be in the game. So I don't know. I'm saying all this to say that I think that like number one, that we shouldn't be holding every game up to the same standard as like Super Smash Brothers, because that's a game that pulls in characters from everywhere. We got Solid Snake is in the game. He's not even a fighting game character. He's got fighting moves, but he's not even a fighting game character, but he's in the game. Cloud Strife, Sephiroth, all these characters from they just pull characters from wherever. People were talking, huh? Duck Hunt? Yeah, Duck Hunt, dog. All these characters they not even an action game. It's just from all these different universes in this one game. So I think it's a little weird to kind of hold other games to the same same standard as like Super Smash Brothers when it comes to rosters, because it's just like, nah, man. There's just too many things that Smash Brothers pulls from as far as like, you know, characters in opposition to like the other games where I'm just trying to make characters that are just in this universe here, man. I'm still trying to make, like, I wonder how long it took to make a character like Giovanna. You know, never mind. You know, we're not gonna get into that. I just think like the answer is for me is like no. I think like we're good with like the amount of characters we have right now. You know, 16 is good. Even like Devin was saying before, Skullgirls, the amount of characters they came out with. I loved Sarabella when the game came out. You know, I liked Sarabella. I thought Painwell was pretty cool. But then I fell in love when Squiggly came out. So you know, I was like, yo, Squiggly is so awesome. She's such a cool character. But yeah, man, that is my answer. If you can find it in that big dissertation.
Welcome to my TED Talk.
I think I think that like 70 or whatever characters the Smash has is kind of an unrealistic standard to hold anything else to. But after that, I think it kind of depends on like the right number of characters for a game depends on the style of game. If it's like a tag game, right? Like say King of Fighters, Marvel, whatever, they traditionally have a much larger cast because I mean you're picking 3 characters at a time. So if you're going to have as many potential, I mean, I guess you can have a lot. Depends how you want to look at it. I'm going to stop talking about math. You just have a larger cast if you have a team game. When Street Fighter V came out, it had 16 characters and it has 40-ish now, I want to say. That's not including the current crop of DLC that's still coming. So that'll put it to like, what, 44, 46, something like that. But when it came out, it had 16 and it got a lot of heat for being too small of a roster. Likewise, when Street Fighter 4 first came out in arcades, it had 16 plus Akuma once they released the code for him, so kind of 17 characters. And honestly, I liked how Street Fighter 4 did the character releases, where every year, so the year or two, they'd have an update where you get a bunch. I don't like the modern idea of you get a character every couple of months. I don't know.
Yeah.
Showing my age on this one, but the one at a time DLC is kind of annoying to me for whatever reason. But either way, like the roster is going to grow over time, and 16 isn't a bad number. I would say 20 is probably the optimal number, so your game doesn't look small. But then if you look at a game like Power Rangers, I mean, sure, it's kind of on a smaller budget than Tekken or Street Fighter or whatever, but it only has, after like multiple seasons of DLC, I want to say about 20 characters, and it's still a pretty fun game. Mm-hmm. Like there's no reason why you can't have a good game with a smaller roster. I think the most interesting case I could point to is we used to play at the venerable House of Goons, a game that we refer to as Bus Fighter. We were playing a Capcom fighting game, History Strong's disciple Kenichi it was an anime manga, had a Capcom release fighting game that wasn't very good. It was boring, it was bad. You couldn't really do anything, but there was this one stage here on the top of like this semi truck that we just called a bus because of, I don't know, the amount of Shiner box we were drinking. Anyway, there was one character that had a combo that would it was like 3 hits into a dash, 3 hits into a dash, 3 hits into a dash into a knockdown, and he would mostly knock people off the bus. And we must have played like that character in mirror matches for weeks at a time on that one stage. It was just a lot of fun, and you know it was stupid, but there was one character that we were using, and we had a lot of fun. Like you could have a good time with a small roster. There's no reason that it has to have 70 or 40 or any number. As long as the game's solid, then there you go.
Mm-hmm.
But you will probably get some flack for having a small roster.